So, it is now quite late. I can literally see my breath, but I'm not sure it's showing up on camera. Over there, hang on, there is actually frost all over the window, and I am in short pyjamas because I was planning on filming this earlier, but then, you know, things got in the way. But that's not a problem because I'm getting even better at rolling with the punches. Actually, that's not true. I've always been great at it. So, today's video, I'm going to be talking about ideas and motivation. And motivation is obviously something that will come up a fair bit in these videos. That's how a lot of people view attention deficit disorder. But that's not really what's happening in any real sort of way. People view it as too little motivation. Motivation can be high, and sometimes it can actually be too high. That's actually a problem I struggle with more than it being too low. I really love writing, so you would think it would be something that's really easy for me to do. But no. So, too high motivation, how can that be a bad thing? Well, it's kind of like a steam engine that's been allowed to build up too much pressure. The attempts to lower it in any rushed fashion is likely to do a lot of damage. So it will. I'll want to work on the story, and I'll think of 1,000 things I can do on it, and I will do bits here, bits there, all over the place. A very scattergun approach, but none of it will have depth. None of it will really have the quality I'm after. And this one's a big one. I will think the right phrases, and then I will think that I've written them down, and then I will later go back and just realise huge sections are missing. If I try and let it out too much, details get skipped over, and sometimes there can actually be sections that go missing, and I will come back to them later and go, oh, I know I had something here that would tie in later in the story, but it's just gone. So that's one way it can happen, and the way I deal with that is by using a pencil to write. So the vast majority of authors that I've learnt about say that they tend to write all over the place. Very few of them actually write front to back. However, if I can just add details wherever I like to any section, then I'm not going to get to the end of the book at any point. Or I will get to the end of the book right at the start, but then the middle will bloat out into infinity. I believe it was S. Morgenstern who spent 47 pages describing trees, in his book, and I could do that. I could spend that much time on that little section because there's no cost to doing it if I'm not following everything in a straight line. The other outlet is something else that I really struggle with. Too much motivation to write, but not enough motivation on the one story. So I come up with thousands of ideas, and some of them really good, and so many of them seem more enticing than what I'm already working on because my brain is desperate for novelty. And one of the good things about pencil, because it always forces me to pick up where I left off, there's no jumping around, because I have to write that next bit, that is the continuation on the page. I have to write one story or find another notebook, which honestly I've got an embarrassing amount of, but the act of getting another notebook, sometimes that's enough time for me to rethink and go back to the first one. And of course, there is a good side to having loads of ideas, because if it's good enough, then I've probably got a lazy pun to go with it, which honestly all my good ideas are start life as Lazy Puns, and then I'll just find some way to incorporate it into D&D somewhere down the line. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and hopefully this is up before midnight so I've not missed another day. Alright, catch you later.